Okay, so this is our second video, and this video is talking about morals. Okay, you should have gone through COVID-19 video by now because some of the stuff that we're going to talk about in this video needs you have a little bit of the background knowledge of what I previously talked about COVID-19. So if you haven't done so yet, go back, watch the first video at Puzzle first, and then come back watching it. Okay. Now, we're going to talk about morals, and we're going to I like to start off asking you, and you need to write this down. Like, what do you think we mean when we say morals? And what does it mean to say something is against your morals? Okay. Pause and write that down. Now you probably put it in you probably write it in your puzzle thing already, so I'm gonna move on a little bit. So another quick question, and this will be a multiple choice on a puzzle. So you have a number of statements: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have to pick one, which one do you really? Which one do you think is the best answer? Best answer, your best answer to this question: what is morals? Okay, which of the following statements you think is the best applying to you? Right. Make sure you pick one. Now this is an IB school, so one of the things about IB is talking about theory of knowledge. So how do you know what you know? And part of theory and knowledge, they do actually dive into a little bit about morals. Okay. So principle and habit in terms of what is right and wrong conduct. You also talk about a personal compass of what is right and what is wrong. So what is my or your my personal moral compass of saying what is a right situation, what is a wrong situation? Now, of course, people change. So let's just say something happened to you, or you read a book or something like that. Your moral compass, as well as your personal belief, can change. So in this case, your moral compass, what you previously thought it was okay to do, and now it's not okay, and vice versa. So when we talk about morals, we're using these terms right now. So we're all in this class have the same common ground that we can talk about. So, usually a moral question is questions you're asking, hey, is it the right thing to do? It's usually the words you see: should, ought. If there's a situation, there's a dilemma. It's not like there's a simple answer to a certain thing. It's not like one is 1 plus 1 equal, what is that? Okay, those are simple questions. When you're talking about dilemma, you're facing a situation where you have to make a choice. Okay. So here are some examples of moral questions. And now, to answer these questions, you need to make reflection. What do you personally believe in? What is the situation? What are your core values and things like that? And using these, and after you reflect and thinking, what is your moral compass and what are your core values, then you make an evaluation and judgment. Okay. So here are some examples. Should individual donate their kidneys be allowed to choose who their organs should go to? Okay. Is there a choice? Now, one thing you'll need to do, especially we are going to do a roundtable thing, but we're going to get prepared to that. Okay. You need to actually come up with your own moral question. And especially now when we're talking about the pandemic of COVID. So I want you to think of what kind of moral questions can you think about related to the current pandemic? Like, for example, should medical workers have the right to determine who should get treatment? Okay. This is actually a very real situation right now and has been in Italy. If you haven't heard about it, they actually have to choose. They are now so short in supply of equipment. For the last number of weeks, they actually have to choose who to save and who not to save, and what the criteria that they have to use to deal with to make that decision. So pause the video, think about what are some moral questions that you think can be related to the current pandemic. Okay. Now, here's a video. Can science answer moral questions? It's a TED Talk video. I'm going to make this, I'm not going to ask you to watch it right now, but you will need to watch it, and I will make this a different episode video, okay, that you will have to watch. Okay, science in the news. So, that's chemistry. Grade 10. So, you have two articles, okay? Prolonged social distancing would curb virus by a high cost by Bloomberg. The other one is from the Atlantic. So, you have two articles that you need to read, and this will help you, give you some context in terms of might help you to come up with a moral question related to the COVID-19. So the first one is, right now we're all practicing social distancing. Yes, it will slow down the spread of virus, but it comes into a high economic cost. Just simply because business is not usual, a lot of things shut down. How do people feel about that? Like, some people feel it's okay, some people don't. Okay. So in this case, I want you to read this article, okay, before next lesson. Another article is this. So essentially, every time there's a crisis, whether it's war, and now especially in terms of pandemic situation, a lot of times people who are in power use it to grab more power. So, for example, in our Canadian situation, on Tuesday, when they was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday, when they opened up Parliament, and there is this emergency bill coming through. A lot of people are saying, "Whoa, wait a minute! You seem to all of a sudden there's a high taxation rate that goes into with this bill, and also there's a lot of power that's left unchecked. They're not sure what so the role of Parliament becomes not very clear. A lot of power goes directly to the Prime Minister. Is that okay?" So in this case, read this article. I want you to come to class before next lesson. Read this article, and so you actually can help you to come up with a question. Okay. What makes a good discussion? So, what do you think makes a good discussion? Pause the video right now. What do you think makes a good discussion? Now, here are some guidelines for actually a good discussion. A, it's actually okay to be quiet. If you don't understand what that person say, ask for clarification. Respect the contribution. Okay. One of the way of learning from in-class discussion is to see perspective different from our own. You will do that a lot, whether it's in class or at home, especially now, I presume. Especially now, I presume you're stuck at home, you're with your family members a lot. You might actually have a lot more discussion, hopefully. And in this case, you want to kind of learn to have good discussion with other people. Give equal airtime to everyone in the group and do actively listening, okay? Focusing on what their speaker and what they're trying to say. Kind of the whole listen before you speak and listen to hear and understand, not listen and just wait for your turn to speak, okay? Feedback what you hear to the speaker by way of restating what they have said, what they have said in your own words, what you have heard in your own words. You're just making sure that you are understanding what they're saying. Of course, if you're disagreeing with someone, instead of saying these, you might want to try to say this. This will help things going longer. Not going longer. I mean, this will help the conversation to go further without emotion getting involved. Okay? So, now you have a number of things you need to do. I'm going to let you to go ahead and do that. But make sure you watch the TED Talk video. There will be a third puzzle video along with reading the 2 news articles so that you can come back. Wrong thing. So you can come to class to be able to discuss this, okay? Have a good day.